relationship aspect in our life is very important because based on what we are doing, how we are building our own relationship with everybody else is basically going to bring us happiness and satisfaction. Interaction with life is being open. If you have 24/7 interaction with life, you're not charged. Relationship is everything in our life. Relationship with yourself, relationship with parents, with spouse, with parents, with children, with grandchildren, you name it. Everything in our life based on relationship. If you think about it, even if you go to the store, grocery store, there is a cashier, right? Immediately you have relationship. Even if it's 2 minutes, it's still a relationship. And it's up to you what kind of relationship you're going to build with this person. So building relationship comes with a certain responsibilities that no one tells us about, and no one teaches us about this, that there is a certain relationship that they have to be built, and there is responsibilities, and you're responsible for one part, whereas the other person is responsible for the other part. So because we are not taught what to do and how to do, and that, there is a responsibility coming with this, we clash constantly. We clash with neighbors, we clash with spouses, we argue with children, we argue with bosses, we constantly get ourselves in trouble. If you want to look at the relationship, it's like business. Okay, so you really need to figure out what kind of relationship in your entire life you want. If we're talking about you, for instance, you don't have family, you have just social surroundings. You need to figure out what is this, what kind of relationship in your life you do want. And based on, and again, this is the simple question. For me, it's very simple, but almost no one asks themselves, like, what kind of relationship I want. People usually just have this knee-jerk reaction. They go somewhere, somebody yelled, they responded, boom, no relationship. Okay, and then they come home and they feel bad, they feel angry, they feel whatever. So this is the type of relationship that can be done differently. So, and emotions that you are getting from a relationship, if they are built properly, are always something that brings you either satisfaction in your life or dissatisfaction. So if you want to think about relationship, it's also emotional responses in your life. It also how you feel in your life. It also contributes in your own feelings of yourself. So if you, for instance, go around and everything that everybody you come in contact with is giving you, say, I don't know, I'm not liking the word depression, but say kind of like negative aftertaste, then at the end of the day, you come home, how do you feel? At minimum, drained, right? Drained, at minimum drained, right? So, and then you go like, well, and when you come home drained, what happened? You're alone, say you live alone, you came home drained, what happened? Soup, whatever food you're making, soup, like whatever, like meat, chicken, is not coming the way you want. You probably forget things. Somebody calls you, you probably grab your phone and you tell like, what? Okay, and the person on the other hand, on the other line goes like, what did I do? Okay, so it's kind of like it's a wave. Okay, it's a wave that comes first on you and then outside from you, right? So relationship aspect in our life is very important because based on what we are doing, how we are building our own relationship, like with everybody else, is basically going to bring us happiness and satisfaction. Happiness is a little bit bigger than just a word of happiness. It's I would say that if you live your life fully, that brings you satisfaction. And satisfaction brings you this broader feeling of, okay, I'm good. I'm in a safe place, I did everything, I achieved this, and that, and people call it happiness. But it's a little bit different. But as again, like almost few people are talking about it. No one actually gives, like description. What is this? A lot of people go like, well, happiness. Meditate and you're going to have happiness. No, you're not going to have happiness if you just meditate. It's a certain things that you need to do in life. It's certain things that you need to put your mind into. You need to change, and you need to request, and you need to be what's the word? You need to, there is the word present that everybody is using, but I would say that it's interaction with life. Interaction with life is being open. What I am saying when I'm saying being open, for instance, being open means it's not like lack of patterns, but kinda live your life without patterns. Meaning, I'm giving you an example. For instance, I'm just giving you an example from the top of my head, but it's kind of vivid because a lot of people, they would probably react the way I'm describing. For instance, you're married, or you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, say, right? Your boyfriend said, well, I'm going to go and have a coffee at the place around the corner. And you know that he went, like he's having coffee at the place, like around the corner, everything is fine, like he should be fine. And you walked in because you needed something from him. Okay, and you texted, he didn't respond, and that he is right around the corner. You walked in, and boom, you see your boyfriend sitting with a girl, talking, chatting, maybe even laughing. What would you do? What would you assume? You know what most people assume? Son of a bitch. Whom I'm going to, right? Her or him? This is interaction with life. Go on. Assumptions. What else?
Thinking the worst.
Why?
I don't speak for myself, but most people generally default to like negativity.
Exactly. The word that you use, default. Okay? There is a default. So we have something that we default to automatically. Right? Interaction with life is when there is no default. When you are like, wow, okay, he's with this chick. She's pretty. She is pretty. But what if she's working at that place? Right? What if he asked her about something because he wanted to make a present for you or surprise, right? And he is doing something that he doesn't want you to know. Yet you're already, like angry, and you're already getting, getting negative emotions, right? And then what are you going to end up with? You're probably going to end up, having a scene or something, or maybe you're going to, retire, and then while you're waiting for him, you're going to think, what's happening? What is it that we're discussing? How far it goes? How long it had been? Right? He was lying to you, and you built this assumption. You build this wherever. Whereas, so once you build it, there is no interaction with life. Now you close it. Done. You're done at that point. Done. So whenever good comes to you, you're not listening, you're not hearing, you're not accepting. That's it. So, and once you do it, okay, let's play a little bit further. He comes home, and then what? What are you doing? You don't want to talk to him about it, right? Because you sneak out. Say you sneaked out. What happened? You go all day looking at him and thinking, son of a bitch, right? Do you think that he is not understanding that something is wrong? He is understanding. He doesn't know what, but he reads, because we human, we read each other energy. So once somebody who is charged with something comes into our space, we react. Okay? So if you have 24/7 interaction with life, you're not charged. You just not charged. You like go and everything is bounce off you. So everything that comes your way, you take as an opportunity. So, and it all comes into relationship because you are not charged. If your spouse says to you, can you pick up the child? You don't go like, why not you? Right? You go like, okay, what time? 3? Oh, dear, I have something at 3. Is it possible that we are like, should we do something? I mean, I really can't. I mean, I have a call, I have something else. How can we handle it? But if you are not, if you don't have this openness, if you are not having, if you're defaulting to the pattern, you go like, listen, I told you I'm working. You didn't know? Well, sorry, okay. And then there is next thing that is happening is what? Fight. Right? Fight. Because you respond to it somehow and or there is something going on constantly in you that she is going to feel. But if you are not charged, if there is no default, you are looking at the situation and you're handling a situation. That's the problem. This is the major problem in all kind of relationship because we're using this part of our brain too much. God gave us brain for a reason. We need to think. But we are right now, we live in it. We build projections. We build expectations. We build assumptions. We have tons of default options. And then what at the end? We deprive ourselves completely from anything that can be good done in our life. As humans, we are looking at each other. We are learning from each other. Okay, we can have social media, we can have tons of things, but we're still looking at YouTube and we go like, okay, he's doing this. Okay, let me do this. We're looking at each other and we're learning from each other. So if you want your spouse to follow you, you need to be the one who is 100% fixed. Like, for instance, you decided to, break the pattern. It has to be from top to bottom. You need to follow and be prepared that the other side is going to fight. This other side is going to drag you down. It's not happening overnight, but once you have this dedication, whomever is on the other side will follow sooner or later. It's a great situation if you can have support, say books, or give her, YouTube, or sign her up for, or him up for, for Instagram, or get on the board, usually it's, one of the best things is people right now, unfortunately, read less books, but it used to be one of the best tricks was when you read the book, and I can tell you that when I heard first time, I was like, well, this is kind of like ridiculous. When somebody told me like, Ellie, you need to get interested in something, like say book, like you need to read a book and make it as if it's a secret. And the other side is sooner or later, he will see that there is something that you are secretly doing. Okay, and the other side will wanna follow. And when I heard this concept, I was like, not doing it. It's like, it's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And I was interested in something that I really wanted like other people to follow. And I was doing it. I was closing the door. I was open. At that time, we had like with the discs, like we were watching this, DVD or whatever. So I was putting the disc on the, on TV, and people from outside who I wanted to be interested, and they were hearing that I am listening something. The moment somebody walked in, I turned it off. Okay, so I was literally making it something that, okay, it's only mine, sorry. And I was I was taking the disc and I was kind of hiding it. And it took me, it didn't take me a long time. I think that it after 2.5 weeks, I started to see that my DVD was changing places. So this is how I figure out that the moment I leave the room, somebody will, sneaked out and was trying to find the disc and watch it. So that's another way how, people, you can get involved another person, like a book or something. I mean, because right now we are not into books, maybe there is social media, oh, look, listen, or shh, I'm listening. It's another thing. It's you need to be creative, because that will help. But sooner or later, if you have a dedication, sooner or later the other person will come to the same path that you are, especially if she or he will see results. And I guarantee once you start doing it, the results will follow very fast, because it works really magic. It just does something, because people are so charged right now, that when you are having pure interaction with life, the beauty of it is you see life differently. You are able to grab an opportunity. For instance, one of the examples, I had a client whose child didn't do well in a school that the child was enrolled. The child just couldn't, there was certain indication that the child has to have a little bit different settings. So somebody suggested the mom a different type of school that was probably better for a child, because it was softer, it had more approach to the strange children. I mean, they were strange children. I'm not saying that they are sick or something, but there are children who require a little bit more alone time or special corner for them, so they can come, they can cuddle under the blanket for a little bit and then come to play with children. So there are children that requires special attentions. Many schools, they don't do it. I mean, for littlest, not for schools when you have grades, but I'm talking about kindergartens and stuff. So mom was so set on only this school, because she was living in her brain. My child has to go to this school because I'm planning for him to go there. Guess what? Child never got into anywhere she wanted. Okay, and on the other hand, I know another people who didn't even go anywhere because their child was somewhat strange according to themselves, even though the children were perfect. But they didn't, they didn't try to put the child somewhere in a fancy school, right? So the child can follow the path that parents created. Guess what? Children got into wherever, easy. So my point is that sometimes you need to relax, okay? And don't live in your brain. Just, just kind of ask yourself constantly, what is it I'm doing right now? A person comes to you, for instance, somebody yelling at you at a grocery store, and you go I'm curious what this person is yelling. Why is this? It's not because I did something. Something is happening in this person's life, right? So this is another relationship, right? So you encounter with somebody at the grocery store, and it's your choice. This is the reason why I'm telling you that every single type of relationship comes with responsibility. You either take it okay, I got yelled at, right? Oh, you son of a bitch, go your way, what am I doing? So you get into this negative, wherever, with your assumption, because you have this default, bringing to your point, default. Okay, I'm going to jump to conclusion that he wanted to do something to me, but he didn't. He was just minding his own business with his own emotions. And it's your choice. what is it that you're doing? Are you seeing this person as a son of a bitch? Or are you seeing this person as a, what happened? Why are you like this? I'm sorry. Try to say somebody who yells at you, well, I'm sorry that you have a bad day. Just try it. You know what happens? A person immediately doesn't know what to do because you discharge the person right away. Okay? And this is interesting because I actually had, and I have this innately, and I had a very interesting situations when people were following me. They were trying to talk to me, and I was like, I'm not really looking for, like I'm kind of sad that whatever happened to you before you encountered me, but I'm glad that I didn't contribute with in your bad behavior, bad mood. But people were looking for, because it was so different for them that I didn't yell at them back. It was so different for them that they wanted to get experience, different experience, because they were like, oh my goodness, a fresh air. Because we're all looking for what? For this fresh air. Okay, we're all looking for, like somebody who is just looking at us and seeing us with bad, good, or otherwise, like mood. And even if we're in bad mood, somebody, like, especially when people live alone, like, I mean, you go to the grocery store and you wake up, like like on the wrong food, you feel, like, and you just want a communication with somebody. And if somebody tells you, well, I'm sorry, even if there is nothing to be sorry about, it's a contribution